morning. I'm Frances Swanson. I'm the College Counselor at Duchesne, and I'm delighted this morning to be joined by my colleague, Logan Spackman from University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And I know that the pandemic has impacted his side of the fence as it has ours in college admissions. So I'm excited to have a chance to check in with him and see how things are going. So Logan, let me ask, first of all, for you, what has been the most challenging aspect for admissions in this whole pandemic shutdown?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, processes that have traditionally been a part of any student's college search, college selection process, college orientation, have required adapting to virtual spaces now that those students can no longer maybe visit campus the way they used to. So, I'm thinking, right now we have seniors that are starting the new student enrollment process. That's typically a one-day on-campus experience. You go through orientation, you meet with your advisor, and then you sign up for classes. Well, that's all had to be moved to a virtual setting. And then I think this is also a popular time of year for juniors that are maybe starting that college search process. Well, this is probably when they would be maybe thinking about making those campus visits, and we'd be ready to host them. So we've had to kind of shift and be adaptable to, well, where can we meet students now? It's in that virtual landscape. And so that has probably been the biggest challenge. It's just adapting quickly to that virtual space that we all kind of exist in now.
Right. And I know that there was a great announcement made about a week ago about the Nebraska Promise. And would you be able to tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So the Nebraska Promise replaces an older program that we used to have in place called College Bound Nebraska. And Nebraska Promise really just expands on what that program already did. We want to make sure that any Nebraskan who wants a college education can get one. And we don't want costs to get in the way of a student's ability to get that degree. So the Nebraska Promise program covers undergraduate tuition at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. It's also a program that will work at other University of Nebraska system schools. But basically, Nebraska Promise program says that your tuition is going to be covered for students that meet certain academic qualifications and have a family income of $60,000 or less adjusted gross income or are Pell Grant eligible. So really all that means for students and families is that if you want to find out if you're eligible for the Nebraska Promise program, all you need to do to make sure and to check is to fill out your FAFSA and have that submitted to Nebraska. So for seniors, you can submit that FAFSA, right now up to June 1st. For juniors, your FAFSA is not even going to open until next fall on October 1st. But as soon as it opens, get that submitted and you'll be reviewed for financial aid, including the Nebraska Promise program.
So just to clarify, for the seniors who are hoping to enroll for the fall, the Nebraska Promise will cover them too.
Yep, you just need to get that FAFSA in by the priority deadline. So originally we had that deadline set at April 1st. Well, that's been extended to June 1st to give students a little bit more time to get that in. Yep. Okay.
And has your enrollment deposit date been pushed forward also to June 1st?
Yes. Yeah. So the deadline to submit your enrollment deposit, that kind of indicator that we look at as, yes, I am coming to Nebraska. We've pushed that to June 1st. Now we still have some other next step processes that seniors can be doing right now if they've submitted the enrollment deposit. So we still encourage, sooner submission of that, the better, because you can get started on housing, you can get started on the new student enrollment process. But if you do need that extra time just to make that final decision, we want to make sure that we accommodated for that.
Okay, great. And are you seeing, I'm sure you're able to track attendance at these virtual workshops that you're offering for both admitted and prospective students? I'm just curious about the attendance. Are you seeing a good turnout for those programs?
Yeah, we've actually seen a great turnout at a lot of these virtual sessions that we're hosting. I think back on April 5th, we held our first admitted student day at Nebraska. And this was originally, we thought, going to be something we hosted on campus. Well, with COVID-19, we had to shift everything to a virtual experience, and we saw hundreds of admitted students attend that virtual admitted student day, get information about Nebraska, get some more information about housing or their next steps to being a Husker. So we saw a lot of students attend that. And now the sessions we're hosting on a weekly basis, we're seeing great attendance at. We host a junior session, a senior session, transfer and value sessions every week at Nebraska. So all students really need to do to get registered for that is they head to admissions.unl.edu/visits, and then they can see all of our online virtual visit opportunities right there at the top of the page. We're hosting a lot of great one-on-one academic appointments with our college partners, so different academic units. And students can also sign up for one-on-one sessions with the admissions office if they want to talk a little bit more about admissions. And then we just kind of kicked off this great series called Help Not Hype. And this is a series of online sessions offered kind of in the later afternoon when students and families can sit down and get some more information about really the next step toward attaining that college degree. So right now we've got some sessions directed a little bit more at seniors. And then as we get a little bit further into summer, we're going to have some more sessions directed at juniors. In early June, we're hosting one called The Real Deal. And we're going to have 5 current Nebraska students just talk about what it's really like to be a Husker and to call Lincoln home. So we're really excited about the attendance we've been having in these virtual settings.
Okay, great. Well, that sounds great. I'm very encouraged by the news about the Nebraska Promise because I think the pandemic will impact a lot of families and their financial situations. So that's really great comfort to know that a college education is attainable for some of those families. Can you talk, Logan, a little bit about standardized testing? As you know, the ACT has been canceled for April. As we are recording this morning, the June one has not been canceled, but the College Board has canceled the SAT. So I'm not certain that the June ACT will indeed be offered. But Nebraska does require a standardized test score for admission. And I'm wondering, are you having conversations in your office about how you might be flexible in the fall with any of our current juniors who hope to apply? What sort of provisions are you discussing that might be put in place?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the questions I'm getting most from juniors and their families right now. And, I do want to say Nebraska does offer pathways to admission outside of standardized testing. So a student that meets our core course requirements and has a 3.0 or above GPA, or is in the top half of their class, can still fulfill the performance requirement and meet our assured admission requirements at Nebraska. Now for scholarship review, yes, we do require that standardized testing, but we use a holistic review process in our scholarship review. So I will say, at least as far as GPA, we typically use the end of a student's 6th semester GPA or the end of their junior year GPA when they apply during senior year as far as that scholarship review, in addition to that holistic review of their academic profile. Now, due to maybe some adjusted grading systems that schools are using in response to COVID-19, next year, Nebraska is going to allow a student to submit an unofficial transcript following their first semester of their senior year to be considered for re-review of scholarships if desired.
Right.
So they just need to make sure to get that unofficial transcript by March 1st if they want to take advantage of that. Now, more on that standardized testing component. With the future still unknown, I know College Board and ACT are preparing maybe to explore some remote testing options if testing centers remain to be closed. And as that information is released, the university will continue to evaluate its use in the admissions and scholarship process, because our main goal is to work in the best interest of the student. And, we will plan to be flexible to new options available to students. So I don't have any new updates as to whether, any changes will be made, but I will say that, our goal is to always work in the best interest of the student, and to be flexible if new options become available.
Okay, well, I think none of us know, and I think for all of us, that is probably the most challenging aspect of this whole pandemic, the uncertainty of when school will open, and even the lingering doubt that it may not open, or how it's all going to change the way we interact with each other. So I'm sure you will, as always, act in the best interests of students. Just what do you love about Nebraska? Can you tell us a little more about the university? What are you most proud of? Anything new or updates you'd like to share with us other than the pandemic stuff?
Well, I think the Nebraska Promise. It certainly is, but I think it's a great one. And, I was a student at Nebraska from 2005 to 2009, got my degree there in English and Film Studies. I had a wonderful experience. I think what I really appreciate about the university really kind of goes in tandem with that Nebraska Promise that I mentioned a little bit earlier. We want to offer students an accessible and affordable means to get a Big Ten degree. And getting that Big Ten degree can be a really great way to get involved with research in your field. It can be a great way to get connected to world-class faculty, go on education abroad experiences, or do internships around Lincoln, around the United States, and really inform not just your career, but inform your life. And that was the experience I had at Nebraska, was great access to all those opportunities. And so that's what I appreciate most, especially now having come back and working in the admissions office. I see the great things our students are doing on a daily basis, not just to change our campus, but really to change the world. We've got students doing awesome research in all different fields. So it's really, I think something really exciting about Nebraska is just those opportunities to get out and affect change right away as a student.
Well, as you remember, I served on the advisory board for admissions for 2 years, and I was always impressed with the efforts made to respond to what students were looking for, particularly the housing, creating those housing communities and learning communities. And so I think you do a great job. Our students are always happy when they are attending Lincoln. So I still say Lincoln. I know we like to rebrand as Nebraska, but and we have a student very excited to attend the Johnny Carson School this fall. So really excited to hear about her experience there.
Yeah, wonderful new program with the Emerging Media Arts major. It's going to be a really collaborative major and cross-disciplined. So we're excited to see what comes out of that too.
Yeah, right. Well, what just general advice would you give to juniors right now as they are beginning their college search?
I think my biggest piece of advice would just be to take advantage of this opportunity to virtually meet with the schools you're interested in. Obviously, it would be great when we get the opportunity to reopen all of our campuses and host you where you're going to be, but take advantage of the virtual visit opportunities that your colleges are offering. It's actually a really great time just to connect and learn about those universities. And you can kind of start creating a short list of where you want to apply next fall and where you maybe want to visit next fall. And I think taking advantage of opportunities like the Help Not Hype sessions would be a great way here at Nebraska to see if Nebraska would be a school that, let's go make a visit there later this summer or early next fall. We've got one coming up. It's Tuesday, June 16th at 7 p.m. And that's going to be specifically aimed at junior students and parents. So if you're looking to get access to some more information about Nebraska, that'd be a great way. But I think just generally, take advantage of this opportunity, make the best of it. Even though it's not ideal, you can still get great information about universities, the opportunities they offer their students, and information about their scholarships and financial aid opportunities. You know, that all stuff hasn't changed. You can still get access to that information.
Okay, great. And for our seniors who might still be deliberating on their destination, any last minute tips for them?
I think my biggest message is just, you know, we're still here for you. And I speak, you know, specifically because I work at Nebraska, and I know our staffs are still working to make sure that we're providing as much information, updates, and access to those next steps to getting you here to Nebraska. We want to make sure those are as clear and straightforward for you as possible. But I think I speak for admissions reps everywhere. That, you know, that's our job, is to be here for you in times like these when maybe deadlines are getting updated or you still get questions about what's on your financial aid letter. So take advantage of your admissions offices. Take advantage of people like myself who, that's what we're here for, is to help you through and support you in that journey to a college degree.
Okay. Well, thank you. And look forward to hopefully getting the football team back on the field too.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We're all
Absolutely.
fingers crossed with all of our with the sports teams next fall. So fingers crossed.
All right. Thank you so much, Logan, and be well.
All right. Thanks, Frances.